Hi, my name is BREGJE and you are watching Estona tutorials. And if you are watching this video, you are not currently on my subscriber feed, so you can watch a part of this video, but if you want to get the full experience, then please hop on over to Patreon and you can find me at patreon.com/Estona_tutorials. I hope I'll see you there. And these are the tools and materials you are going to need today. Of course, your torch, your flux and a brush, hard and medium silver solder, different types of metal, soldering pins, these are optional, titanium tweezers, a soldering pick, of course a lighter to light your torch, cutting pliers, your jeweler's saw, and some lubricant. This can be a candlestick as well, a soldering block, a file. I am using a Velorbe cut-to file, and it's a flat-handed file. And finally, your pickle solution and a pair of copper tweezers. I am going to explain a lot more about soldering today. I hope you were able to practice on the basics, and today I am going to show you how to use the different types of solder and how different thicknesses of metal or different shapes will react differently to the solder and how you can use it to your advantage. And these are the pieces that we are going to solder together. I explained to you in the previous lesson that it is very important for a good soldering joint that you have a perfect fit. So I'm going to file down all of the sides of all of these metal plates to make sure that there aren't any gaps between them and I can solder them together properly. As you can see, this is leaving a white and bubbly layer, and I can really see, if I heat it up, where my flux is going, and I have to make sure that it is in the middle of the soldering seam. So I keep adding the flux until it is entirely covered. And I'm also adding some flux or some borexine. And when the structure is changing a bit, it's going from white to a bit of a honey-like structure, then I know that my piece is hot enough to add the solder. So I'm going to pick it up with my soldering pick, the hard solder, because whenever you can, work with hard solder. And I'm placing my hard solder in the middle of the soldering seam. And if you want to pick up a piece of solder like this, just gently heat it up and press your soldering pick against it, and the solder will form a little ball and it will attach to your soldering pick. I'm heating up everything with the hottest part of my flame. And if your solder isn't melting, you can always turn up your flame a bit. With me, most of the time that's the problem. And now you can see I have a bit of a sharper flame. You can see it at the tip of my flame, the orange color. And I'm just going to keep heating it up. Here you can see my solder turning into a little ball again. So that means that it's close to the melting temperature. And I'm helping it out a bit with my soldering pick. And sometimes patience is key, so don't give up right away. And here you can see that it's about to flow. And that's it. And what you can do if this happens is just heat it up again until your solder is starting to melt and push everything back together. And if you have a 3D shape, such as a prong setting, of course this is going to be a lot more difficult, but when you're practicing on a flat surface, you should be okay. I am going to put this in the pickle solution because it really needs some cleaning up. And after pickling, you could be left with a piece like this. And we're not going to clean it up just yet. We'll do so when we shape this into a ring.